into it. Okay. For Monday, let me check trade recaps because sometimes it's just easier for me to see like what we took and then cross reference that. So this was 11-3. And then okay. So probably this one, right? And then you go break even at this gap here. Unless there was like a good setup on a different time frame. Let's check. So this sweep of the high here is bearish, even though we leave previous day high. Maybe there was like an SMT or something, but I would have been bullish to that unless there was a SMT there. And then when the reaction we got there was like kind of bearish, I would just been like, okay, never mind. So let's see. High swept there. Where's previous day high? Oh, it's like all the way up here. Okay, so yeah, no SMT there, but this reaction's pretty bearish. Invalid there. And then do we have like a 5-minute or something? Okay, so like you could have taken this death candle 5-minute, and that's like enough confirmation that like price is gonna head lower here. And then I'm guessing there's a like unfilled 15-minute or something, or unfilled 1 hour that could be the target. Yeah. So honestly, yeah, I think we're gonna go this 5-minute. Like I know that there's that 15-minute candle there that you're like probably gonna want to wait for. Oh, actually, we're running into that smaller 15-minute. Yeah, this probably would have been a break even because you go break even at that 15. Yeah, so no, not even that one. That one didn't play out. Not this one. Yeah, okay. We're gonna go with this 5-minute from the low here. We run London low, bullish reaction inside that void, and then this ends up being like a scale half break even trade, maybe. Yeah. Okay. So we'll say this. A plus setup, singular gap, good momentum. Turtle soup off, London sweep. PPR put in on inverse. Target or like unfilled unfilled gap. Oh, okay. What else? Anything? What's nice here about the Century 2 is we actually end up closing over the VI. And anytime that I'm looking to like take an inverse, if the VI is greater than a point, I will consider it significant and I'll include it in the FVG. So in this case here, this VI is 2 points. So I would wait for the close above that plus the FVG in order to take the inverse there. Okay, so that was that. Next day, was the oh wait, actually, I'm going to do something for the guy that does our graphics. Like, let's take a screenshot of each of these. Okay. And then Tuesday. So big dump overnight. We are reacting bullishly off of the new week at 5 a.m. So probably would come in with a bullish bias to run all this liquidity here. Then there's a setup there that we take, right, to get to that point. So let's find it. Okay, so invalid. There wasn't a valid setup there. That's tough. I know I like traded this and I streamed this, but like I don't even remember half of this stuff, guys. Like the 5. So yeah, when we pull back here, we're tapping into that 4-hour gap. Really bearish reaction out of it. So I don't know. Is there like a 1 minute from up here or something? This was a break even. Okay, maybe this like long off the lows here being swept. This looks pretty good. 2 minute maybe. That's a break even. Okay. Honestly, I don't really see a good setup for Tuesday. Maybe one of you guys can point me in the right direction. Volume imbalance is just an area in price where like there's a void that's created. It's basically like a new week opening gap, but like on the lower time frame. And the way that you treat it is just like pretty much any other inefficiency. If it's unbalanced, then you expect it to be retraced to balance. And then if it gets inversed, you know, that's like a bullish sign. So yeah. Am I missing something, or did Tuesday just not have a good trade for iFVGs? Because I'm just, maybe I'm blind. Maybe it was like pre-market or something, but I'm not seeing anything. PM? Yeah, let's check PM. Maybe PM actually has a setup. I don't think we got anything on Tuesday, right? It was 11-4. Yeah, no funded trades. So yeah, I mean, I think we're just going to say no trades for Tuesday. And then we'll go Wednesday. If somebody can show me something. I think the trade for Wednesday was just going to be this. Probably one of these longs down here. Yeah, this trade. So here, this is A plus because, or not A plus, but it's A because we don't have the liquidity sweep, but everything else is there is telling us that we're bullish. So, there was like a 30-second here that was A plus. So, I mean, it's really either of these. This is just the one that plays out. So we're gonna look at this one. So this is an A setup. Engineered liquidity above. What are we looking at here? OB plus iFVG on close. Good momentum. Confirmation setup. No sweep. I think we had delivery from like a 1-hour gap, maybe. So that's okay. Yeah, we had delivery from that 1-hour gap, so. What else? I think we were in the macro, right? Or coming into macro. Yeah, we'll do that, and then, I don't know, however high up this goes. Okay, Thursday was the 5-minute short. So I'll mark this out. We had the unfilled 1 hour below as a draw, the equal lows as a draw at London, and ultimately like that external sell side. So you really realistically could have held for all that. No roadblocks between draw and entry. 1 hour unfilled gap plus equal lows draw. Delivery from the 4-hour gap to the left here, right? Oh no, it was just a 1 hour. Okay. Delivery from 1 hour gap. What else? Anything? That's it. Okay. So yeah, this was A plus. Banger trade. Oops. And then last but not least, we have the setup on Friday that was like insane. For the short. Maybe it was this long. Oh no, it was this 30-second long here, wasn't it? 30-second long, or what was the other trade we got? Go to 11 here. Yeah, 30-second long. Okay, this was really good. Try to target like that high. And then if you didn't like that, you could have taken this short here. This was an A setup. But we're going to focus on this long because I believe we had delivery there after the daily low was swept. Yeah, so coming off of the swing low there on the daily. Um, so the reason why it's the CISD is because this is an inverse manipulation leg where we get the manipulation leg down here, and then on this close here is our CISD. So basically, when we get the 30-second there, the CISD is confirmed. It's pretty close. We needed to wait for the next candle, but with the momentum there, it was like confirmed. And then there are other time frames here, like time frame gaps here that could act as roadblocks. Actually, I'm not gonna say that in here, but there basically some people were asking about this, because there was like a 3 minute or whatever that was, you know, getting ran into when the 30-second inverse here. But the reason why this doesn't matter is because of the reaction that we have to the daily low being swept, this low being swept, how much momentum we put in the singular gap. Anytime we get a V shape like that, you can take the first time frame singular gap inverse, um, and with like a lot of confidence. And there's like a really good break even here too. Deep in discount. And then I don't know what our draw is. I guess draw is high inside for value gap. And then what else? Anything? I think that's good. Unfilled 15-minute draw. Yeah, yeah, unfilled 15-minute. Unless there's like an hourly here too. No, okay. So unfilled 15-minute. And then I think we got an SMT there. We just barely missed it or whatever. So yeah, I think that's gonna be it. Want to shout out one trade real quick that we took during PM yesterday. So I'm gonna do a trade recap video on this. If you guys would like to watch that, I'll probably put it out later. But yeah, this trade was fantastic. I took this trade on options instead of futures because I figured that this draw was so strong and I had so much conviction in us going up here that I didn't want a chance being break even on futures. When I knew that this high was going to hit before the end of the day, especially when I noticed that this was the buy side of the curve being put in. And the reason why I know that is because of two things, right? One, we get our market structure shift, we get our SMR off the bottom, okay? So both of those things combined tell me, okay, we want to put in the next buy side of the curve. The second thing is this, okay? We're inside of this 15-minute here, but this 15 doesn't matter because of one thing, and that's this 5-minute V shape. If price was truly bearish here, would we have V-shaped after rejecting from the 15-minute? No, right? So that's what gives me the confidence to say, okay, this is going to go for this next target. And also, we have an unfilled 4-hour here. And anytime we have a very bearish move down, price is going to want to balance the inefficient price action there. So, really made a lot of sense to take this trade, and I explained that all in live time in PM. So for those of you that are trying to get a leg up on your trading journey and, just want a little bit more insight, we do stuff like this every week at PM where we just catch, really good trades like this. We got a 90-point trade earlier in the week. I think I had one other trade too. So a little bit of an ad, but yeah, this trade was like masterclass. And then if you guys are confused on what an SMR is, I have a video on my YouTube about it. I have to do a part 2 to it as well because there's some stuff that I've left out from that video that I need to include. But yeah, we'll have this video out today. And then outside of that, I think that's going to be it for iFVGs of the week. Unless you guys have any questions you'd like to ask real quick, I can do like a short 5-minute Q&A. So KT, I just explained why it's still a valid setup, even though we're in the 15. And the reason why is because if price was truly bearish here, would we have gotten, so okay, here on this price leg up, price comes up and hits the 15-minute gap, and then we reject, right? So if we're going to be bearish here, if we're going to reject the 15-minute, this is where price is going to dump. If we're bearish, is price going to first respect this 5-minute gap that we've put in? Okay, that's significant. And then second, V-shape the 5-minute if we're bearish. Does that make sense, KT? Probably not, right? We're going to be bullish here off this. So that's why the 15-minute there doesn't matter. That's why it's still a valid entry, because price is tilting its hand here. It's telling you, okay, we're bullish. We're going to be bullish to this next high, and we're going to be bullish to here. Can you explain why the trade at 14.27 on Wednesday did not work? We had an SMT at the 4-hour high. Should I have waited for a confirmation setup due to the structure not being bearish yet? Is price fractal across all time frames? Yeah. Pretty much. I mean, the lower time frame you get, the less probable setups sometimes become, but that's not like a general. That's like a generalization of price. 14.27. Okay. Let's see here. So we're talking SMT at the high. Cool. The short here. What are we talking? The long? What are we talking here? Oh, it was this. Okay, I see. Okay, so once again, same thing. Price just isn't bearish here. So you're just going against the bias. If price was really bearish here, after dumping down like this, would it have made sense to be bearish when we see price come down, respect these two 5-minute gaps in series, V-shape back up, inverse this 5-minute back to the upside? Does it make sense to become bearish yet? So when would it make sense to be bearish here? Maybe after we violate this 5-minute to the downside, because technically you're taking a short inside of a 5-minute iFVG that's playing out, right? So maybe once this gets violated here, you go, okay, now we're bearish because we're disrespecting bullish PD arrays, right? That's kind of your order flow flip. And then you can look on the lower time frame here, maybe this 1 minute, and go, okay, this is where, this is what sent us up originally. So if we violate this, we'll be bearish to the next low, right? So that's kind of the idea there. You're just kind of going against basically a 5-minute inverse. Keep that in mind. Make sure you're not tunnel visioning on the 1 minute. I know 1 minute structure here may look bearish, right? If we have an SMT at this high here, especially, you're like, oh, inverse to the downside. Let me take that. and it looks V-shaped, but this is like a pattern trade, right? You have to keep in context this idea of, okay, we just respected this 5-minute gap. We just inversed with a massive V-shape on the 5-minute. This is probably just a short-term retrace, before ultimately like maybe re-hitting this high or whatever. Okay. It was break even nevertheless. So yeah, mechanically here, because we put in a new low and we reswept it, that's technically where you're supposed to go break even according to the model. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, how many points up was this? 7 points. I probably wouldn't have gone break even. I probably would have taken the loss on that. We got the 5-minute setup on the 1-minute with the 15-minute gap in the way. Would you have still taken it? Yes. Like if it was V shape, yeah, for sure. Because once again, that still would have never happened. You know, if we were bullish. I mean, if we were bearish. Okay. You don't go break even within the first 10 points? No. I go break even at the ITL usually, on the swing of the fair value gap that we inverse. So like in this scenario here, the break even would be like this low, but I'm more subjective about it. So like if there's no roadblock to the left here, I might go for the more obvious low, which like there's not a true obvious low here on the 1-minute unless you get down to here, which is like actually the smart break even, because this gap here is what kind of would make order flow, neutral. Like we don't know if we're going to break this gap, so you want to go break even until price confirms that we're actually bearish, and then on this candle, okay, we're going to head for this low now, because there's no roadblock in between price and the low here. Can you explain why the 30-second short on 953 didn't work on Friday? Probably because we were just so deep in discount, if I had to guess. I think we were like really like low in the range at that point. $9.53. Yo, where am I seeing a short here? Oh, right here. Yeah, so like whenever you see price dump like this, you want to wait for the long. Yeah, you just want to wait for the long there. Also, there was probably like a 2-minute gap or something, or I don't know. To me, that's like not a good trade. Also, I don't even know if the draw there is good. Like maybe there's a draw to the right that to the left that I can't see. Like maybe we hadn't hit the daily low yet. 804. Let's see. If we hit the daily low, then yeah, that was not good. Okay, no, we hadn't. So yeah, you can still be bearish here to that low. But I think at the time we were inside of like a fair value gap to the left, and we'd ran like an obvious low. I don't remember exactly. I feel like it was like this low that we'd ran, or like maybe it was this low to the left here that was inside of a 1 hour, and we were still holding it. So like we weren't fully bearish to that daily low yet. Wait, I'm just like in a totally wrong spot on the chart. Okay, here we go. It was like this low, right? Yeah, it was this low. We'd ran out this low, and we had a bullish reaction. I don't know. It's just not really an obvious inverse. Also, like this gap is just kind of shitty, right? Like if we look at the long inverse that one versus the short inverse that fails here, this gap here is only 8 points in very volatile price action. So you want to keep it kind of contextual, right? Whenever the VIX is higher and we're getting these bigger ranges, an 8-point gap isn't that obvious, right? And then if we look like here on this 30-second, this gap is like what, 20 something points? Yeah, 24 points, right? So it just sticks out more. That's why this one won. So are we trading Tuesday? I'll be trading Tuesday because even though it's a bank holiday, the markets will still be open. Okay. That's gonna be it for me. We got the holidays coming up here, so I know you guys are gonna try and like get some money for the kids or for presents or whatever. So hopefully, within the next couple of weeks here, we can catch some bangers and make that happen. Alrighty. Catch you guys later. Peace out, everyone.